We're trying things, okay? We're absolutely learning. I'm 40 years old. I'll be 41 next month, and I'm still learning. So real quick, just kind of going over a little bit about what I'm here to do is be goofy, okay? But talk real sports. Talk a few things Cowboys, a few things Rangers, a few things Mavericks, a few things whatever that comes up in the sports world. Yes, it's going to be called the Cowboys Sideline Report. However, I don't know if that's something that you can use to categorize what the content is going to be. You see, I went through great levels of detail to put this on my wall when I first moved into this home. I spent 2 days working on that, and I did that by hand, by myself. I had no help. The only help I had was going to a graphics place to have them print me out a star that was in the perfect symmetrical shape. I was never going to be happy if one part of that star was wrong. It had to be symmetrical. They kept telling me, well, you want to go smaller? I was like, no, I absolutely don't want to go smaller. That's what she said. I want it to be that size because that's the size that's going to fit. That's what she said. It needs to be that size because the wall is that size. That's what she said. And it has to be that way, and there's no other way that it can be. So that's what we got. Yeah. So that is all me back there. But just kind of in short, one of the things, the reason why I wanted to do this, and I really wanted to create this channel, this community, was because I believe that there are more fans now that feel like I do now, as opposed to what I felt this time last year. This time last year, I felt that this team was poised and was driven to be the very best of themselves that they had ever been. That they had gotten the talent, they had finally gotten the coaching staff figured out. That, hey, it's got to happen now because how can you keep Dan Quinn? God, how long does Jerry have before he dies? All of these things were reasons why it has to happen, right? Dak Prescott's going to get paid. It's going to be even more difficult to get talent on the field. CeeDee Lamb's going to get paid. It's going to be even more difficult to pay a wide receiver and a quarterback. Then Micah Parsons is going to have to be paid. It's going to be even more difficult to get talent when you're paying 3 people that kind of money to stay on your team. It has to happen, right? So that's what I went into the season thinking this time last year. Week 4 of last year. So it was week 3. That was the game for me where I said, there is absolutely no way that this team is serious. And I want you to go back to that Cardinals game, that situation, and really think about the circumstances, what was going on in the media, what people were saying. Well, you lost your star cornerback, Trayvon, when he went down. Defense is still trying to find a way to react, trying to find a way to get their bearings, trying to find... No. I shut that shit down. I didn't want to hear it. Because here's the real fact about all of this. Trey matters. Okay? Trey absolutely matters in this defense. Trey is a factor, and I love Trey. I love Trey Diggs. I was an advocate for drafting him. I was ecstatic when they picked him, and I still to this day am happy that they paid him. I need to see what he does against San Francisco. That's going to be the test for me. Not Cleveland, not anything. I want to see what he does against San Francisco. And you're going to say, oh, well, San Francisco may not have Ayuk. San Francisco may not have the weapon. They're still going to be a strong team. Okay? I don't think they're going to make it to the NFC Championship. That's just me. It's my opinion. I don't believe that they're going to have the ability to repeat. I believe they're going to go through a similar year to what the Eagles went through last year. At the end of the year, people are going to figure them out. They're going to know, oh, okay, if you punch them in the kidney, dude, they're done. And they're going to start punching San Francisco in the kidney, and they'll be done. And how Shanahan reacts to that is going to be the difference between, do they completely fall apart the way that the Eagles did, or do they skate away after having 8 to 9 wins and still get 3 to 4 more wins? That's going to be the difference. I don't think they're going to lose 7 games to finish the season. I just don't. I think if they lose the last 4, that's going to put them out of possible first seeding or second seeding, and someone more dominant is going to run against them in the playoffs, and they're gonna truly struggle in the playoffs. And hopefully that team is us. Got sidetracked. I knew after that Cardinals game that this team was not serious. They came in to the media the next morning and they made a bunch of excuses. Even after the game, there was a lot of people saying, oh, we absolutely felt like we knew what we were doing, and we lost Trey, and they gave us a gut check, and we're going to take this as a learning experience, and we're going to come back, and we're going to come back strong. And they came back and they whooped the crap out of the Patriots, and everybody was like, well, Jerry was right. Everybody was right. Look at us. Here we are. We're good. Right? This is where we make our stand. This is where we make our run. We just had to get that crappy game out of the way. Get it out of the way in game 3 and move on. Let's go get 9 more. And then they went to San Francisco. And I was right. I didn't want to be right, but I knew I was right. When they stepped on the field against San Francisco, and San Francisco said, you will not beat us. And they wore their F Dallas shirts underneath their jerseys. And they looked up at the sky cam when it was over the 50-yard line, and they did this. And they were having fun when they were only up 21 points. Dallas had nothing on the board. I said, this team is full of shit. And no win after that proved me wrong. No win after that. We'll just bring this back down a little bit. We'll just bring this down a little bit. Here, if you look at... They went back to the Chargers, to L.A., right? In a close game, they beat Kellen Moore and Justin Herbert. And if you remember that game, it almost seemed like it was one-sided, but you only scored 20-17. It's not like the score was 20-3, and you were trying different run schemes and trying different wide receiving routes to see if you could develop something to go against the Rams. No, boo-boo. You barely won that game at the end. Rams, that was a difference. Okay? That was, you said, no, we're not gonna slide through this game by the skin of our teeth. We're gonna actually go out and we're gonna dominate. They dominated the Rams. They did. Sean McVay didn't know what to do. Okay? That was a testament to what that team was capable of doing, given the level of competition. That Eagles game, and I was like, man, I don't think they're going to beat the Eagles. They're not what they presume themselves to be. And I was absolutely 100% correct. Came down to the wire, last minute of the game, and the Cowboys could not get it done. Now, there was some drama there. Should have won, could have won, didn't. Demolished the Giants. You go to the Panthers. You beat the lowly Panthers that just got a brand new quarterback that doesn't really know what he's doing and doesn't really have a lot of weapons. You decimate the Commanders. I get it. I understand. But you barely beat the Seahawks. And then you began the crumbling of Philadelphia. You remember that? You remember this? So the cycle is there. What were the Eagles after they played you? They were done. They were cooked. They were a dead bird on the side of the road on 635. And if you're in Dallas and you're familiar with the DFW area, 635 is a terrible freeway to be on. That's what the Eagles were. They were roadkill on the side of 635. And that's not even close to the stadium. Okay? They destroyed the Eagles. The Eagles shouldn't have even got off the plane. Okay? They shouldn't have even got off the plane. They should have landed and said, you know what? I'm not feeling it. Let's go right back to Philly. That's what they should have done. But instead, they got a 20-point ass whooping is what they got. And then the true test started. And this is where I was like, that's going to be... For me, I knew the Eagles game was going to be the start of what was going to tell me what this team was about. And again, they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. I predicted them to go 2-3 out of this cycle, and they did exactly what I expected for them to do. They lost 3 of these games. No, they lost 2 of the games. They won 3 of the games. But it was who they lost to and how was the big factor. They could have lost that Lions game. I understand technicality, truthfully. Hey, we did win. Get it. I got it. I'm good. Bills and Dolphins. You know what Josh Allen is, and you know that you have the team that can beat them. You're saying, oh, well, we didn't have any linebackers. We lost all of our linebackers. Yeah, you know what? We did. But what did the Eagle game teach you? What did the Seattle game teach you? What did the Commander game teach you? It taught you that you were depending heavily on the guys in the backfield to pick up a lot of the linebacking slack because you didn't have linebackers. You were picking and plugging and placing people in places that they didn't belong. It wasn't their skill set. You get down to the Dolphins game and it's the same thing. You talk about the Dolphins game. They were never truly in that game. The score looks good. 20-22, 22-20. It could have went either way. No. It was exactly the same thing. You just managed to find a way to kick one more field goal and get one more touchdown than you did the week before in the cold. You were cold last week, now you're hot. And it didn't equate to better, statistics. It didn't equate to a win. You went out and you basically laid the same goose egg. You just managed to find a way to beat the heat better than you beat the cold. And you got 10 more points. But they still whooped you up and down the field all game long. Because you didn't have the talent on the field to cover it, to make up for the difference. Then you beat the Lions in the last minute. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. It's a touchdown. The Lions win. Wait, no, he didn't call eligible? Points come back off the board. You stop them twice. All the head coach, all DMC had to do was say, swallow my pride. I'm not going for a fourth. Kick the damn ball. Okay? Get the 1 point I need. Tie the game. We'll go to overtime. Nope. If that game goes to overtime, you lose to the Lions. I stand by that. I believe that. And it all depends on if you get the ball first. I think if you get the ball first, Dak goes down the field. They do what they do, number one offense type shit. But the Lions defense is not something to scoff at. Golf. All pun intended. Look, the season was exactly what I expected it to be as an end result. I didn't expect for them to get 12 wins, but I didn't expect for them to get off. I didn't expect for them to get out of the wild card round, even if they made it. The Arizona game showed me exactly what this team was about, and this team was scared. This team was scared to be exposed. They got exposed against the Cardinals. The run game beat the crap out of them through 3.5 quarters, and the Cowboys had no answer for it. The defensive line folded like a house of cards. It just fell apart. Your secondary was only going to be successful if they got 3 picks, and they couldn't get that in that game because Arizona committed to the run. They didn't have Kyler Murray. They knew what they were going to do. If they had Kyler Murray, you'd have seen a different type of offense out of Arizona. They would have thrown the ball a lot more. But you had Josh Dobbs. And Josh Dobbs is good on his legs, so he ran the ball a lot. A lot. And they got some pretty good running backs that knew what they were doing. Even though you sat there and said all week going into that game, nobody knows these guys. I remember watching all of the shows and listening to them on the radio and following it. I remember it like it was yesterday. Everybody said, "Oh, Arizona has nobody. This Josh Dobbs kid, he's really the only thing that you need to worry about because he can run. He can get outside the pocket. He can come around the outside and make plays with his legs." Leading up to that, we didn't know if they were even going to have a quarterback. Because I don't know if you remember, it was right after the Jets game. We were looking ahead to Arizona. Arizona didn't have a quarterback at the time. Josh Dobbs was in Minnesota, I believe. I believe he was in Minnesota first. I can't remember. I think he went Minnesota to Arizona, then to Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. Tennessee or something. I don't follow Josh Dobbs. I don't care. The bottom line is 4 or 5 days before the game, it was announced that Arizona had gotten Josh Dobbs, and Josh Dobbs was looking good in practice, and he was probably going to take the starting position against the Cowboys. He did, and they ran away with it by a country mile because they said, this guy doesn't understand all of our plays yet. He's still learning. We got to give him a few weeks. Let's just unfold the run game and make sure that we get him some yardage, and between him and the running backs and a few passes here and there, we'll find a way to win. And they beat us hands down. I don't know if you remember, they kind of stopped playing in the fourth quarter. Arizona just kind of said, we got this one. Cowboys don't have an answer. So, in that, we're going to cut it here. Hopefully the stream goes well. Hopefully you guys heard everything. If you're watching this back, I know nobody has logged in to watch this live. So I've been by myself, but hopefully somebody can come in later on and check this out afterwards, because I think we did a pretty good job. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and hopefully you guys will subscribe, and we'll start making some more content and get some more people in here on a regular basis. So thanks, guys. See you soon.